some reason, this one seems extremely important to me, as all of them have been, obviously. We've been busy in the parish. I have my directors here with me. I've been so blessed through the years. I knew this was going to happen. To have all the same people that started with, which is unusual. And I would like to take the liberty to ask them to please stand up so that you can recognize them. And I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the work. So if you guys would stand up. Dee Dee, I know you're over here. You would stand up. These people have been with us since day one. Some of the things that I'm going to go through is a tribute to them. Mark Harrell will tell you probably most of it. And it is. It's true. They've all worked extremely well together and worked with me. I don't look at them as working for me. They are a family. They are a team. They have your best interest at heart, and they've gotten the job done. And with that, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I want to go through a few things. Nobody likes a lot of statistics, but I feel like this time I need to try to rifle through a few things real quick, and I will go through them fast. Just some of the things that we've done. Jennifer Myers, my finance director, and I've talked about her and picked about her through the years. Anyway, the audit again, no findings. It's just unheard of. Year after year after year, she holds my feet to the fire, holds the different departments, and we get it done. Zero findings. That's remarkable, Jennifer. Thank you. Some of the things and projects that we've been involved in is the courthouse, of course, has been done through our tenure. The old courthouse renovations are underway. The South Satsuma Spring Ranch widening, the Holden sidewalk, the communication tower, the Tickfaw public boat launch, the Buddy Ellis Road improvements, Town of Walker safe rooms, the generator projects, and I'll talk a little bit more about Homeland Security, hazard mitigation programs, the Middle Coryell drainage, Cook Road extension, which I've always considered my baby, but actually it's all of ours, and thank you, Ford and Blada. I mean, it's just been phenomenal the work that they're doing. And Richard Price, to Earl Price and Steve Price are just doing a remarkable job out there with construction. The Livingston Parish Regional Airport, Ms. Delia Taylor has kind of run that for us and is really making a lot of progress. I think I'm going to actually live long enough to see that happen. Good Lord willing. The Blay Hut Road Waterline Extension, the Juban Road widening and interchange, the Juban North Extension, which we've now started working with, trying to get some funding, and we have some funding. Some things have started on that. And then, of course, the Juban Crossing Mall. Bridge replacements. People don't realize we've replaced 21 bridges in Livingston Parish, which is just unbelievable. Wax Road, P. Ridge, John Barber, South Satsuma, North River Road, Klein Drive, James Chapel, McCarroll, Haynes Settlement, Jack Rhodes, Black Lake Club, Crossover Dunn, Old River Road, Travis Street, George Masham, Linda Road, Whittaker Road, Fort Gillette, Sims Road. And I've got to talk about this one. I think I'm going to show a picture later. But we actually have the Lodge Stafford temporary open so that when school starts, traffic actually started yesterday. Moving across it, it's one lane with a traffic light directing when you can go and come, but it is open, and we are moving forward with getting the permanent bridge done. That will happen. Some of the new equipment for DPW, sandbag equipment, platoon excavator with the Morris buggies, the motor grader, the vacuum trucks, the 2 crack sealers, grapple truck, low set mobile command unit, bulldozer, John Deere mowers, dump trucks, high water rescue boats, and high water rescue vehicles. Some of the other accomplishments of working with the Sheriff's Department on the litter patrol, implementing the PEG channel. Actually, the PEG channel was going, we kind of renovated it and improved it with the help of the council. That's really up and running real well. A new inventory system for DPW, paying off the jail and the road funds, which has been huge, and I've talked about it, so I won't go on and on about it, but it's allowed us to do a lot of work and drainage work that we were not able to do in the past because we were constantly trying to find dollars to do it. And so now we're up to some 14, 15 million a year. Huge, huge. major HVAC upgrades, permitting and planning advancements, certified building officials that we've added. We've implemented the My Permit now, which means you can, there's software, you can do it from the field. Compliance department with commissioned officers handling complaints. And I think they've done somewhere like 150 complaints and addressed over 105 of them already just this year. We've expanded animal control operations with a new facility truck, van, quarantine runs, 3 play yards, 28 additional kennels. We redid our civic source contract a while back so that we could move more adjudicated property to be able to keep that up and running, which we've been able to do with basically with no secured source of funding, and I'm really quite proud of that. Total road work, bridge and road work, over $112 million since I took office. Over $112 million. Out of that, some $38 million was grant dollars, and net for the parish somewhere around 72. Grants update, and I think he's going to show you a few slides. I don't know. There he is. Okay, you got it. Through the grant department is right now administering over 85 federal and state grants, which include the debris removal, drainage, road projects, sewer, water improvements, homeowner elevations, acquisitions, emergency response equipment, safe rooms, for first responders, and more. Some of the notable infrastructure projects that they're dealing with is Cook Road, Forester Lab, and Dunn. The debris removal continues parish-wide through the USDA Natural Resource Conservation Service. To date, over 28 canals, creeks, and/or tributaries have been cleaned. Bank stabilization projects are also underway in West Coyell and Beaver Creek. Some of the drainage activities since 2016, and I think I touched on this last year, but just as a reminder, from 2016, waterway debris cleanup was a little over $31 million. The waterway debris removal, 1 month after we finished all of that from Hurricane Ida hit us, $43 million. I mean, we were so happy to get that done from the major flood, and then boom, Ida hits. But we resurfaced and gotten that done. FEMA Hurricane Ida waterway debris removal public assistant, waiting on FEMA to give us the permits for Alligator Bayou, Blind River, the Amite River, Pettit Amite, and Old River. Hurricane Ida, LWI debris, which are box culverts over the interstate and some residential areas that didn't qualify for any other funding. Engineering has been done, waiting on all the permitting now. Go Mesa has started for the Amite Blind River Coastal Restoration Project. Then RCS bank stabilization on Beaver Creek is almost complete. Again, I mentioned the temporary bridge at Rod Stafford, which was around $800,000. That's up and open. The Pine Bluff, I know some of you may not have ever been on Pine Bluff, but it took a huge dip. We were able to get some grant funding. We were able to go in and improve that to where we've lifted it now to where when the hard rains and things come through, we've been able to get through it. And Councilman John Wascom, I think, worked with Mark Carroll to help get that done. We needed a couple of neighbors to go along with it. I believe we were able to help get that done. So we were able to get that done. Allen Bayou and West Coyell drainage projects, waiting on FEMA to finalize the approval. Debris removal, now this is roadside debris from the 2016 flood, was another $20 million. From Hurricane Ida roadside debris removal, $28,700,000+ Acquisitions completed and elevations completed since 2016. 24 acquisitions, 80 complete elevations. Waiting on 295 more to be approved by FEMA. Mark, working with Chris Moody, just secured us another $30 million for the Amite drainage projects, which will be, I believe, from Fort Vincent down, some 12, possibly up to 15 miles south of there, with hopefully another $20 million pledged and hopefully coming on top of that, so that we'll be able to do that project. I've talked about Mark Carroll through the years. Some of it not so good. Most of it good. Mark's kind of that bulldog that just won't go away. He's that guy when nobody else wants to listen, yeah, Mark, go ahead. And he gets it done. He's the guy that won't take no for an answer. He's the same guy that'll give you his shirt off his back. Now, he wants to talk about it when he does it, but he'll give you the shirt off his back if you need it. Mark has threatened to put his keys on my desk a couple of times. I finally had to say, Mark, just do it. And of course, he picks them up, we hug it out, and we move on. There's not many Mark Harrows in this world that fight for you all like he does. He never stops. He never stops. He puts in more hours than I can imagine he ever put in. And we talk about it. I love all these guys, but Mark just happens to be one of those, and thank you for that for him. Mark happens to be one of those like me that don't sleep, and so we're able to communicate a lot during the night, and early morning, and late evening, and all those kind of things. And he just never stops. He never stops. Planning department under Mr. Sam DiGeronimo, who never, Sam has a unique relationship with people because he's been in this arena as a police juryman and then as a parish councilman. He understands the language. He understands how to talk to people and work with people to get things done. He's under the gun right now with all the different changes and all that have come because of all the growth. But Sam has maintained and does a phenomenal job. We've had 16 new commercial developments since June of 22. We've only had 3 subdivisions, one under 100, 2 over. Multifamily developments, there have been 4. New towers, the Homer Lawrence Lane and the John Lanier. But Sam also heads up and runs, along with our engineering firms, a road program. This year, we're doing 75 roads. Going to wind up somewhere around 35 or more miles, equaling somewhere around 15 million. That's thanks to you all passing and renewing the tax and getting the bonds paid off, freeing up dollars that we can actually do some real work now, which means a lot. It's helped tremendously. So thank you, Sam, for all that you do in your departments. The compliance department is headed up with several guys that are all commissioned now. Like I said, they handled roughly, had 150 new complaints. They closed on somewhere around 100, a little over 100. Mr. Tim, who is, I think, here, heads up our safety program. His primary concern is obviously the welfare and safety of our employees, but also of all the protection for the property in Livingston Parish. Because of Tim's leadership and because of the hard work and everybody helping Tim and working with Tim and their departments, we were able to once again reduce our annual insurance income by over $35,000. That's huge, with no loss of life, which is obviously awesome, but also zero reportable incidents, which is remarkable. And that's a tribute to Tim and to every one of the employees in the parish. So thank you, Tim, for all that y'all do. Mr. Charles sitting here, make sure that everything that can run mechanically, electrically, is running. If it's not, he gets somebody there to make sure it's up and running as fast as possible. I've been up there on many Saturdays and Sundays when he's up there, got his crews up there, got somebody doing something to make sure we're ready to go for Monday morning. Thank you, Mr. Charles. I appreciate you and your group. Permits, Miss Dee Dee, who Dee Dee and I talk all the time. We don't know where this is going to go, where it's going to end, but she has done, I think, a remarkable job in her department. And since July of 22, we've had 10 new commercial that she's dealt with, and this was in 21 to 22. It's 171 homes from 22 to 23, 34 total commercial, 450 homes. So people are still moving around and rebuilding and building homes in Livingston Parish. Thank you, Dee Dee, for all the work you do and your staff. The animal control. I ran in 2011 and I was going to conquer the world with animal control. And I realized after getting there and putting committees together, headed up by some fantastic people, what a job ahead that was. And we still need to do a lot of work there. But just to give you an idea, East Baton Rouge spent $12 million in 2018 to build a facility near LSU. Ascension Parish pledged $1.6 million to purchase property and estimates an additional $6 million to build a facility once they get their land. Plus, they passed a 10-year property millage in 2018-19 for construction, with a millage that's supposed to, and they're hoping, are expecting to generate $1.7 million. It takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of money. And with animal shelter and animal control issues, this parish is split wide open. We've talked about it many times. I love animals. No one wants to kill shelter, but everybody understands you can't keep every animal that comes along forever. I mean, you just can't do it. In 2012, we secured a grant to build a quarantine area along with 23 additional kennels. Central air and heat for the second building was installed, and later heating for the front kennels was completed. In 2018, we purchased a new van that was customized and equipped for animal control. Last year, a 2022 truck was purchased and is now being equipped with a custom-built animal control box. We're putting in a new floor, which will help us meet the inspection for the state. That's in the process. We currently house somewhere an average of 40 to 80 dogs at all times, with an average annual intake of 300 to 350 dogs. We don't have separate housing and equipment required to take in other types of animals. We wish we did, but as of right now, we don't. Thank you to all our businesses and residents who participate by volunteering, donating. Without you, it would be almost impossible. And just so you know, our animal shelter is staffed entirely with women that Ms. Desiree manages. Desiree, thank you for all that you do. They work tirelessly with the Sheriff's Department, with municipal police and others, with vicious animals and things. It's a burden for the Sheriff's Department. It's a burden on our local police departments. And someday, hopefully, this thing will be funded fully to do what it's intended to do, with enough property to house all the cows, pigs, goats, horses, and everything else that by law you're maintained to do. You have to do. But thank you to what y'all do. Thank you to Dr. Scott Smith, for what they do to help. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank, and I know she's not here, and she didn't know I was going to say this, but Miss Maurice Durbin in Denham Springs. She participates and volunteers. I can call her anytime, and I won't reveal her age, but it doesn't matter. She's going to roll out whether it's hot or cold. Desiree will tell you that. And Miss Mary, who loves animals, that will pick a mosquito and carry them outside versus killing them, are on me all the time about how can we improve, how can we improve. It just takes money. So hopefully the council will secure some funding someday, and we'll be able to get that done. Miss Mary Chester. I don't know what I'd do without her. She keeps me grounded, keeps me straight. She knows the law. She understands the ordinances. She knows the intent that they were written for. She doesn't like drama, so I try not to go to her and load drama on her. She doesn't like to sit there and talk about people or anything like that, but I can go to her with questions. I can go to her for research. I can tell her something I need or want. She gets it done. She comes in and literally stands at her computer and her desk all day long, researching, writing, putting things together, making sure that I don't cross any lines I'm not supposed to cross. She's phenomenal. She was with the council, I don't know, 16 years. So she knew where most of this came from. Sammy, you were probably over there when she was there. Randy, I think you may have been at one time over there when she was there. She's dedicated, just a hard worker, never complains, never complains. Well, maybe except about the computer. We need to do something about the computer. Because it's slow or it won't do fast enough what she needs it to do. I've said many times before, if Miss Mary goes home, I'm going home too. She's just that much of a blessing to me and to all the directors that come to her for different questions, sometimes just to calm me down. She's got a way of doing that. All my directors have been with me since day one, and that's just unheard of. Everything that I've talked about that has happened because of all of these people and their dedication to you all and to the people in the parish. The debris, the storms, the disasters, the floods, all the things, Jason and I, Sheriff Ard and I have talked about this several times. We think everything, and I don't want to wish it upon us, but an earthquake has been thrown at us since we've been in office. The volunteers that come along and help when these kind of things happen are unbelievable. I can't think, and this is no disparaging remark on anybody. I hate to go down a list of names, but I won't be able to do it. But I can't imagine anybody other than Mark Harrell, Jason Ard, and I know Jeff Taylor's not here, but every disaster, they're there. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing, working as a team, working together to make sure we get done. I'm there, but sometimes I'm just there. I might be in the way even sometimes because I'm constantly in the middle of it. They know what they're doing, and I can't imagine going through a disaster without any one of those two guys. Jeff Taylor never, ever, ever fails to call immediately. What can I do? What do you need? How do you want me to help you? Just let me know, whether it's cooking, picking up, whatever, he's there. These are the kind of people that I've been blessed and been surrounded with that has helped us be as successful as we have been. The council. Without the council, you don't get a whole lot done. It's been rough this year, but up to this year, they've always worked as a group. They've always been there, worked with administration, and we're still working together. Politics, it's election year. Things are being said that aren't true. Things are being said that sometimes we don't care. I just showed you how much we do, and we do. But there's not a one of them that I don't think are trying to do what they think is the best and the right thing for the people in this parish. I've served with some great people, and I applaud them for all their efforts and what they're trying to get done through a complexity of issues. But it's time to start working together, and it's time to start laying some of this to rest. We've got to get zoning done in this parish, and we're going to get zoning done. Mr. Villavasso knows what he's doing. He's going to work with planning, ultimately going to the council, who will make the final decision on how they want to implement what he puts in place. The moratorium had to be stopped because of some legal reasons, and it needs to be reworked. If they do that, I'm not going to stand in their way. It's time to get back in charge, work as a unit, work as a team, put political differences aside, and let's get done for the people in the parish what we need to get done. Because that's what this is really all about. It's not about me. I'm going home. But it's about the next group coming in and what they're going to have to deal with. It's time to do that. Susan sitting there. She's had to listen to this for 12 years. I can't tell you how many nights, how many days. It's been kind of tough sometimes having money. But she's been there. She's not a rock. She's been there no matter what. Of course, I love her dearly, obviously. 35 years we've been married. I hope we can make another 35 at our age. I'm not sure it's going to happen. But I could not have done this without her support. And my daughters and my son and my grandkids. And my daughters sometimes won't get mixed with some of this Facebook stuff and really get after it. So it's hard to kind of keep them grounded and away from it. That's the problem with the ugly politics. Yeah. I can take it, I'm the elected official. Hell, I'm gonna be 69 years old next month. So you're not gonna hurt me with saying ugly things about me, but my kids and grandkids have to read that. John Wascom yesterday and I were talked at length about a lot of things. And John, I'm just gonna say this, and you can verify it or deny it. But John said, Layton, I want to thank you for never throwing the council under the bus, for always taking the high road with how you respond to some of those comments that are being said. Well, I do that because I'm a Christian first. My faith is what's gotten me through a lot of this. When a lot of times I wanted to A, punch somebody, or B, jump off that two-story building out there head first and just call it a day. Sometimes you don't know which is the better way to go. But my faith has kept me grounded, and I appreciate John telling me that. And it's true. We're all people. Thank you. We're all people, and we're all in this together, and all of us want what's best for the people in this parish. Out of my 5 kids, 4 live right here. Out of the 9 grandkids, 5 are right here. And we think soon our daughter's going to move back, which will bring another 3 grandkids back, and all of our kids will be right here. So obviously I want what's best for this parish. And I think all my council members want what's best for this parish. It's like that simple illustration I've used time after time. We may just not agree on how to get there, but we all want to get there. And that's why I love those guys and what they're trying to accomplish. And I hate the ugly politics. I've said it before, and I think the reason James got me to do the prayer was so I wouldn't say anything ugly this year. I think that was the intent, so I'm going to try not to. But social media has really allowed us to say and do things that we would never sit down and say to one another. But I promised my dad I wouldn't change before he left this earth. And I promised him when I walked out that last day, I'd be the same guy that walked in the first day. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to keep that promise. So all the other stuff is not going to drag me back into a mess. Let's get it fixed. Let's do what we need to do to get this behind us so that people, A, know what they're doing when they move into our parish. They know what they're facing when they move into certain areas. They know where they can build whatever it is they may want to build or not build. It also makes it protecting our people that are already here, which is obviously primary. That's first. We all know that. And I think we all can agree to that. But we do want new people to move in. We want our parish to grow. But we do want to do it responsibly. I don't care for the big developments any more than you do. But I've said it day one and I'll say it today. If they meet the ordinance that the council puts in place, you gotta let them build. If you don't like the ordinance, change the damn thing. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. But lawsuits are spending your taxpayer dollars, our dollars that could go to drainage, instead of going to, nothing against attorneys, Todd, you're one of my close friends. But it ought to be spent out here working together to help get things done that we all can live with. So everybody's got to give a little bit, give up a little bit, and hopefully we all get something. Because of all of this, I'm going to be qualifying in the morning, and I'm going to make sure my name is not on that list.